How to think like a geographer in the exam. Exams are full of big, scary words. Discuss, analyse, examine. These big words and confusing definitions can be quite intimidating. So what can you actually do in the exam? Examine, assess, evaluate, analyse, discuss. The first thing to remember is that these words are all very similar. The examiner just wants to see that you understand the topic, not that you just memorised it. That's what parrots are for. They want to see that you can do something interesting with the information. Don't just dump it on the page. So what can you do? Well, you should always consider both physical and human causes. You should look at environmental, economic, political and social impacts. And don't forget that social can include both physical and psychological injuries. Be explicit and point out to the examiner that you are thinking like a geographer. Capitalise and underline important keywords so they don't miss them. The examiner will be very happy if your answer is clear and easy to mark. I love marking! You deserve an extra mark! Don't just think about positives and negatives, but consider who thinks these things are positive and negative. Geography is all about variations over time. Short term, hours and days. Longer term, weeks and months. Even longer term, years and decades. Prior conditions before a disaster that could affect people's ability to cope. The future, the past, and how things change over time. Geography is about spatial variations and how things are different in different places. LEDCs, MEDCs, NICs and the least developed countries. The rural and the urban areas within these countries. Not just human, but different physical environments. How could things be different in a desert, on an island, in a rainforest? Not only time and space, but scale is also important in geography. Small scale, large scale, global, local, regional and national. What is the biggest impact? What is the smallest store of water in the hydrological cycle? And how are people affected on an individual scale? And what is the importance of these things? What is the most important impact of globalisation? What is the least important? And who thinks so? Always try to weigh up the pros and cons. And finally, don't forget to include. This depends on the question, but some ideas you can look at are asking which impact was the worst overall, and who was affected the most. What is the main cause of the famine? Do you agree with the statement in the question? Do you agree a lot, a little, or only with some aspects? Now let's look at some examples. Instead of you could write 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 Thank you for watching and good luck in your exam.
I can't wait to mark your exams.